The room is quiet, but the air is not. October in Detroit has that hum where every whiteboard arrow matters, where a single personnel note can tilt the last 6 minutes of a playoff game months from now. You can almost hear it in the way coaches click through cut-ups. The ball leaves a quarterback's hand, a window flashes open, and then nothing because a long shadow wiped it shut. That's the difference everybody in Allen Park is chasing this week. Not with fireworks, but with precision. It isn't panic. It's posture. The Lions have spent 2 years learning how to close the back door on 3rd and 7. And you can feel the staff leaning into the next step. Stop living on the edge of almost and start dictating which throws even get called. The hint has been on tape teams testing Detroit outside the numbers, stacking switch releases and deep overs to pull safeties thin. The answer isn't a speech. It's a prototype. No spoilers yet. But here's what you'll get in the next minutes. Why the calendar makes this moment different. What kind of corner flips the script in Aaron Glenn's coverage tree. How the trade board lines up. What the cap sheet says. And how one edition reorders the matchups you'll care about in December. I'll walk through scheme fit, cost, risk, and culture. Then put it on the field against the opponents that actually scare you. If this move is real, and it's more than smoke, it changes what offensive coordinators dare to draw on Tuesday night. You're watching Lions News Fan Report. If you live for the details that win in January, hit subscribe, tap the bell, and drop a like so this breakdown reaches the diehards who never look away. This is a community that understands football beyond the headlines, and you'll get the whole picture here, clean, fast, and honest. The introduction has to start with identity. Detroit's defense has become a problem because it squeezes the run and turns games into math. But the modern league doesn't concede. It answers by hunting grass. Quick outs to keep you honest, switch stacks to steal leverage, and those layered shots that punish a safety who leans a half step. The response is not 10 new calls, it's a corner who narrows the field on the boundary and buys the front half a second of patience. When you make quarterbacks hitch, your pass rush eats. That is the formula. So profile the player before you chase the name. Length that disrupts at the line without grabbing. Stride that erases a false step. 4.2-ish recovery that shows up on Sundays, not just in shorts. And receiver DNA at the catch point. Late hands, late vision, calm body. In Detroit's menu press, bail, match quarters. Cover 3 with pattern rules. That prototype doesn't just survive. It lets Glenn call his favorites in high leverage downs without protecting one half of the field. Now layer in the market. Depth charts aren't static in October. Across the league, roles shift as young stars return and coordinators reconfigure the puzzle. In the Pacific Northwest, a defense that leans on length and aggression has been experimenting with alignments all year. Slot outside rotations. Pressure looks that demand trust on islands. When a room has surplus traits at one spot and a contender has a surgical need at another, phones ring. That's not rumor culture. That's roster math. The Lions front office under Brad Holmes has been disciplined about these moments. They buy traits, not headlines. They move when the price makes sense, and the locker room fit is clear. The cap is not a wall here. It's a hallway. You can navigate it with manageable year-to-year numbers and keep the extension horizon in view without choking the core. Translation: if they spend a pick, it'll be a smart one late-round base with a condition tied to playtime or postseason success, protecting the future while leaning into the present. Why now? Because the schedule won't wait. Detroit's near-term slate includes receivers who stack vertical stress on both hashes and quarterbacks who love buying time with their eyes. You don't answer that with wishful thinking. You answer it by shrinking windows so those scrambles turn into throwaways. A single addition can change which side you rotate the safety to and which concepts you call on 3rd and medium. That's the lever in play. Here's the turn you've been waiting for. Inside Allen Park. Detroit has moved to confirm Riq Woolen as the target to solve that exact lever green light internally. Parameters discussed, and the framework to close in motion. This is not a parade on the transaction wire yet. It's a high-confidence push with real traction. The word confirm here means alignment in the building and momentum toward finalization. Until the league office logs it, we respect the gap. But the intent is clear. Riq Woolen, plain and simple, is prototype. Long frame. Easy glide that turns vertical roots sideways. Former wide-out eyes that find the ball late without tipping his hands. In zone match, he can midpoint the corner and sink under the post. In press man, he can stab with length and still carry the go without panic. He gives you the one thing Detroit has needed on the boundary in money downs. An eraser who makes the quarterback reconsider his first look, then forces a hitch. That hitch is life for a pass rush that wins on effort and design. Drop him into. Blends whirl and the ripple effects are immediate. Opposite Terry and Arnold, Woolen simplifies nickel rules. Your star can play inside leverage more often. Your post safety doesn't have to babysit a side, and you can disguise rotations longer. In quarters, Woolen's stride lets him overlap the high crosser and still drive the outbreak. In cover 3, he seals the honey hole that so many coordinators have been fishing with sail concepts. Red zone? His wingspan turns slants and fades into honest contests instead of coin flips. What does the room look like? Better, not threatened. The value isn't in benching anyone. It's in letting snaps find the strongest matchups. If a veteran corner is managing a hamstring and a young player is still building consistency, you're not forcing roles, you're clarifying them. Competition raises the floor. And when the boundary is secure, you can push the nickel into different pressures without paying with explosives behind it. Price and paperwork always decide the appetite. The expectation here is not a chest-emptying bid. Seattle, like many teams, will consider value if they love their depth and want darts on draft weekend. Detroit can structure something that respects both the present and the future. A late-round pick that upgrades based on games played or team achievement. Cap-wise, the number is digestible today, and you keep optionality for a later extension if the fit is as clean on grass as it is on paper. Risk is real, so let's be grown-ups about it. Long corners can get grabby when their feet freeze. Coaching and reps fix that. Double moves punish eyes. Discipline fixes that. Tackling angles on quick hitters can look loose. You fix that with standards and film. The trade carries the usual variants, new verbiage, new checks, new chemistry, but length and speed translate. Detroit's staff has shown it can teach technique and communicate adjustments in-game. That's where you bet. Let's drop it into opponents you actually care about. Against the boundary alpha, who loves back-shoulder timing, Woolen's length eats space and forces high throws for safeties to contest. Against a motion-heavy attack that hunts crossers, his makeup speed lets you pass routes without fear and keep the mill closed. Against RPO slants, his presence muddies the picture and steals free fives into contested twos. That changes second down. That changes the script. Culture is the last checkpoint. The Lions don't sell comfort, they sell standard. Woolen's profile late-round ascent, wide out to corner transition, earned snaps. Playoff-level battles tracks with Detroit's appetite for competitors who love the work. You come into this building, you hit the meeting standards. You run the run fit on first down like it matters, and you win your red zone rep. That's how this locker room polices itself. A long, fast, coachable corner fits that room. Timeline? If the green light that's been described stays green, the runway is short. Medicals, paperwork, and a crash course week where you package calls he already speaks press. Bail, match rules that carry across systems. You don't ask him to learn the whole dictionary day one. You build a game plan he can play fast. If it finalizes, you'll see it in the call sheet before you see it in a press conference. Boundary clamps. Rotated safety help shifting to the other side. And a pass rush arriving one step sooner. I want to hear from you before anything becomes ink. If the price sits in the late round range with a reasonable condition and the cap impact is clean, are you pushing this across the table today? Where do you line him up? Snap, one field corner, boundary, or traveling with the burner? And which third down call becomes your new bread and butter if Woolen is in Honolulu Blue Quarters match with a robber, or cover 3 with pressure off the nickel? Tell me below. This channel lives on your football brain. My opinion. If Detroit closes on Riq Woolen at a responsible cost, it's the precise, playoff-minded swing that tightens January football without breaking the future. And until the transaction hits the league wire, treat this as informed speculation, not an official announcement.